Everyone knows that song. Sounds of Bono, The Edge, and other members of U2, you know, wrapping up their residency at the 366-foot tall, $2.3 billion orb in Las Vegas, known as the Sphere. Carol, yes. You and I talk about it all the time.
We whine because we want to be there.
Catching the show. Needless to say, we haven't made it yet. It's not looking so good.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You're still young.
Yeah, well, they're going to be done in a few days.
Well, there'll be somebody else there.
That's true.
All right, well, maybe the next best thing, I guess, to not getting there is getting some time with the company. That's the official tech partner for U2, helping to enable the high-def imagery. We're welcoming in our studio Jonathan Martin. He's the president of the data management provider WEKA. And as we said, he's here in studio. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Tell us about your company, WEKA.
So WEKA is an AI-native data platform that allows large AI environments to be built. So
if it was a year and a half ago, would you be talking about AI so much?
So no, we've been talking about AI for probably the last 5 years, but it does seem to be reasonably hip these days. So about 275 of the world's largest companies are using WEKA today, 11 out of the Fortune 50, and one of those obviously was the Sphere.
What are companies mostly using you for?
So they're using us for building very large-scale data pipelines. So if you imagine the companies building these AI environments are deploying very large volumes of GPUs, thousands, tens of thousands of GPUs, and they want to be able to serve data very, very quickly, very, very scalably, very, very efficiently to those GPUs to make sure that the GPUs are running as fast as they can. So typically when they deploy WEKA, they'll see that things like training times for AI on the models will shrink, anywhere from 10 to 100 times. If you can imagine what you could do with 100 times more in a day, it's a pretty incredible impact.
Okay, so privately held company.
Yep.
Raised a lot of money. Last year raised $135 million in a Series D funding round. What's the plan for going public or an exit here for these investors?
So we're really focused on building the next great data company to come out of Silicon Valley. I think we have an absolutely incredible opportunity ahead of us. As you said, AI is huge right now, but there are many, many other sectors. You've been talking about some of them earlier this afternoon, like media and entertainment, life sciences, financial services that are reimagining themselves.
How do you see AI playing a role in what they're doing?
So media and entertainment is leveraging AI massively. A lot of generative is being used for character development, backgrounding, sequencing, in-betweening. So lots and lots of generative in media and entertainment.
So I get it with you too, right? So you helped create the visuals around it.
Yeah, so we
completely did it.
So two things. So we gave them the platform on which they could build those visuals. So you can imagine that is a very, very unique environment. 4 16K screens, 164,000 independent channels of audio that's targeted 3 seats at a time. So the sound in there is absolutely beautiful. And they're streaming data at about 402 gigabytes a second.
Tell us about some other customers. I get that, but there's not a million Spheres.
There's not a million Spheres
around the world.
So not yet.
But give us an idea of kind of your typical customer and what they're doing with you with WEKA and what they're using, what you provide.
Typically, so many other media and entertainment companies. So a lot of the shows that you and your families watch, a lot of the broadcast studios in the sky are built on WEKA. But we're also very strong in things like financial services.
What do you mean broadcast studios in the sky?
So when they're building, so for example, if you want to go and build, if you've got 4 or 5 studios around the world, they pool all of their content into a cloud-based studio. You have maybe another 1,000 or 2,000 reporters out there with camera phones, putting them all into the media base. So a lot of broadcast networks are building these studios in the sky where they're having people pool all the data into a cloud built on WEKA, and then they're having the producers and everybody pull from those streams.
Like who?
Not one that I can
People
mention.
we know?
People who you will definitely know,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Hey, I want to talk more about investors
like
here.
News people?
Yeah.
Like traditional networks, news
traditional
networks?
News networks.
Are we using you?
Not yet.
Okay, just checking.
All right, well, you're in the building, so maybe
exactly.
Who knows?
Introduce me to your friends.
Yeah. So the other investors include Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, HPE, Micron Ventures. You got NVIDIA in here. You got Qualcomm Ventures, Samsung.
Yeah.
Are you using any of their hardware?
So we're a software company.
I know, but are you in terms of like developing this stuff?
So we run as what we call reference architectures. So you can buy WEKA from HP, you can buy it from Lenovo, you can buy it from Dell, you can buy it from Supermicro.
What do you mean by that? Is it like white label?
So it's sold as a WEKA product, and it's packaged with hardware from Dell or HP or Supermicro.
Okay.
You can also buy the same product, and this is one of the things that's extremely unique about it. It's absolutely the same product on any of your cloud marketplaces. So you can buy it on AWS or Google or Azure or OCI.
Who's the biggest competitor you're concerned about?
Honestly, ignorance at the moment. Like, a lot of people are just doing the same old. These AI workloads are very, very different. They require extreme performance. They require extreme scale. They require simplicity and shareability, and they require you to have the ability to build these pipelines across data centers and cloud environments.
A lot of extremes, and we've talked about this a lot, whether it's autonomous vehicles and so on and so forth, the use of energy and power to do all of this. 100%. How are you guys focusing on this and making we do it in a greener way?
So Sam Altman got on stage at Davos this year and said that the world doesn't appreciate the power requirements of AI and the AI revolution. That's absolutely what we see. So these GPUs, if you have 1,000 GPUs, they consume about a megawatt of power. People are buying GPUs these times in tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands. So massive power requirements. So there's a big focus on sustainability and how do we do this in a greener way. Interestingly, the Series D that you mentioned was led by Al Gore's fund, which is the Generation Investment Management Fund. We were the second investment out of their Green Data Fund, because we help organizations massively reduce the amount of infrastructure they require to get the same result. So typically, for every petabyte of WEKA that you buy, you save about 260 tons of carbon dioxide emissions. When we're talking about environments that are hundreds of petabytes breaking into exabytes, those are massive savings.
So you talked about kind of news, you talked about entertainment. Where else is WEKA being used? Give me an idea.
Life sciences. Personal medicine. A lot of the mRNA vaccines were developed on WEKA, so computational chemistry, structural biology, all of the FDA approvals were done on us, again, because we can massively compress wall clock time. What may have taken you 12 days, we can now do in 4 hours.
We love numbers here at Bloomberg. You're a private company, but I'm going to look for some numbers here. We just heard from Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, who said he's excited about all the spend going into IT this year. How much have you seen spend go up for WEKA?
So we are tripling each year and have tripled for the last 3 years.
Top line revenue?
Top line revenue, ARR.
Are you profitable?
We're a private company.
That's okay. You can tell us, even if you're private.
It's a yes or no question.
So we're focused on growth right now.
Yeah,
we're focused on growth.
Fascinating. I'm not quite sure where to go because I feel like I have a million questions. But having said that, we have a smart investment audience. You're private, at least for the moment. But what is it? I don't know whether it's your AI exposure or your exposure to different industries. What is it that you think they can kind of take away from this conversation that we're having with you that you think that they should know about?
Probably the simplest way to think
doesn't have to be company specific, but more broadly what you are seeing.
Yeah. So first of all, we are very, very early in the AI revolution. We are 2023 really saw the early adopters in the market grabbing training, grabbing ingestion.
You mean the world at large?
The world at large. It's very, very, very early adopters. Even geographically, it's very, very spotty. West Coast of the US, AI is very, very hot. East Coast, not so much. You go to Dubai, you go to Saudi, you go to Kuwait, incredible investment. You go to Taiwan, you go to Singapore, you go to Korea, incredible investment. In AI. And AI, and not just AI, in all the infrastructure to build an AI industry. So you go to Saudi, they're building dozens of universities to churn out AI graduates. So it's government level investment in the infrastructure. There is the market is
just got about 15 seconds left.
Super early. So the best way to think about WEKA really is in AI environments, WEKA is to data what NVIDIA is to compute.
Very interesting. Come back soon and keep us updated. Jonathan Martin, he's president of WEKA, joining us here in studio.
Hey, let's get a check on the latest world and national news. We got Nancy Lyons in the DC newsroom. Hey,